Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now. Black power.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Folks, today is Tuesday, July 15, 2025. Coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. The family of Jabari Peoples does their own independent autopsy. Will be joined by the family attorney, Ben Crump, to discuss those findings. In Gary, Indiana, the home to the nation's largest steel mill, the mayor of the predominantly African-American city will join us to talk about how the $14 billion partnership between U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel could impact African Americans. Also on today's show, voices of St. Augustine's University say they're being silenced. Their alumni rep, has been voted upon, but they won't put him on the board. What the hell is going on? Plus, tonight's Shop Black Star Network, shopblackstarnetwork.com marketplace. We'll talk to actress Nicole Ari Parker about her product, GymWrap. Ooh, and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett had a couple of things to say about all these red states complaining about blue states, but she like, that's where the blue state got all the money. And Bill Maher shows he's an ass again. I'll unpack that and explain to you why it is beyond stupid when you listen to Bill Maher talk. It's time to bring the funk on Roland Martin Unfiltered. On the Black Star Network, let's go.
He's got whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin.
We buried our child Saturday, and we buried him Saturday, and it's hard. It's hard to even think about burying your child. It's hard about ever. You want your child to bury you. You don't want you had to bury your child. No parent, nowhere. No parent. Only thing we want to do is see the video. We want to see the video. Just show us what happened to our child, please.
Show the video.
Show the video, please.
Thanks, guys. Folks, that is the family of Jabari Peoples, a young man in Homewood, Alabama, who was shot and killed by police. They're not releasing the body cam footage. The family is saying they want it to be released. The results of the independent autopsy reveal the 18-year-old Jabari Peoples died from a gunshot wound to the back during a police encounter that took place on June 23rd in Homewood. Again, they have yet to release the body cam footage, claiming that that will impede the investigation. Ben Crump, the family attorney, joins us right now. Ben, we've been down this road many, many times. And one of the things that we know is that if this video exonerated the cops, it would have been out a long time ago.
Yeah, Roland. That's the hypocrisy of it all. If it was somebody from our neighborhood, from our community, who did something inappropriate or did something that was criminal, they would have that blasted all across the evening news. However, when it's a police officer killing one of our children, they change the rules and they say, oh, no, we can't release the video because it is an investigation. And it's so hurtful, it's so painful to these black families all across America while they play this game of delay, delay, delay. And can you imagine, Roland Martin, how hard it is to bury a child, as Mr. William Peoples was saying, but not to know what happened to him when you're burying him. I mean, it's beyond insult on top of injury.
And again, so they're saying that we've done this story several times. So they're saying that, because it's an ongoing investigation, we can't release the body cam footage. But that still makes no sense because, first of all, who's saying that? Is it the district attorney? Is it the Homewood Police? Is the Alabama State Police? Who's actually leading the investigation?
It's the Alabama State Police. They call them ALEA, Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. And they do this continuously and systematically. They did it with E.J. Bradford. They didn't release that video till 3 years after E.J. was killed in Bessemer, Alabama. And so we know we're fighting up against a machine here, a very well-oiled, discriminatory machine that say when black people get killed by the police, we sweep it under the rug. And so we're not going to let this kid be swept under the rug. I mean, he was the best of us, Roland, the best we had to offer the future. Never been convicted of a crime, never even been arrested. He was a freshman at Alabama A&M, a double major. He was majoring in computer information systems and criminal justice, wanted to be a detective, wanted to go into law enforcement. So how does this bright kid with a bright future end up dead? Well, based on our preliminary findings, and it's preliminary because we haven't got all the evidence, but our medical examiner, who is well-credentialed, been a medical examiner for over 25 years, based in Atlanta, Georgia, said that based on her autopsy, physical examination of the body, that he died from a single gunshot wound to his back.
Which obviously raises the question, what happened here? Now, again, the cops are saying that there was supposedly a gun in the car. Well, the body cam footage should show that. So either it shows it or it doesn't.
Exactly. Exactly, Roland Martin. What is the reason why they are so afraid to show the video? And I think it's what you said earlier, Roland. If it was something on the video that exonerated him, they would have been showed it. But if it's something that implicates him on the video, then they have to try to figure out the narrative.
And, of course, part of the issue that we have here, you're dealing with Alabama, a red state. They believe in protecting cops. So it's not like you can look to the attorney general or the governor for some assistance.
Not at all. In fact, the attorney general is running for senator. Tommy Tuberville is going to run for governor of Alabama. So they flip-flopping. Everybody assumed that the attorney general was going to run for governor. But then when Tuberville said he wants to leave Washington and be governor of Alabama, then Marshall, Steve Marshall is his name, attorney general, said he's going to run for the United States Senate seat. And they are big Trump supporters, both of them. And so, Roland, I know you know about Tuberville, so that's what we're dealing with, a Tuberville in Alabama who always protects the status quo and always protects police officers.
Now, your preliminary autopsy, was an autopsy done by the official autopsy, medical examiner? Has that been released?
No, absolutely not. Pending investigation, which just makes me want to holler when you think of all of them. They do all this stuff that the taxpayers pay them money to do, to have body cam video, to have dash cam video in the cars, to have medical examiners who do autopsies. And then when we need to know most the evidence of what happened to this young man being shot and killed, they all say, well, we can't release anything until the completion of the investigation. And you know, Roland Martin, because we've done this too many times, they will try to keep that investigation going to next year or well after that, till everybody forget that Jabari Peoples existed except his mom and his daddy.
And unfortunately, we're also dealing with a federal Department of Justice that wants to grant immunity to cops. Donald Trump has made it clear he wants 100% immunity to cops. So you can't even look to the federal DOJ for any assistance.
It's a shame before God, but I know that together we can get transparency and get to the truth of what happened. And they're going to have to release this video. We just got to keep standing up together and not let them sweep this young man, Jabari Peoples, under the rug. Because like I said, Roland, he represented the best that we had to offer for the future. I mean, A and B student, his freshman year at Alabama, was looking forward to starting in August, his sophomore campaign, and now he's 6 feet under the ground. And his family has still not been given any answers as to why their law-abiding college teenage son is dead.
Well, unfortunately, when we talk about the South, we're still dealing with, frankly, lynching of black boys, black young men, and getting nothing in terms of justice from law enforcement.
So thank you, Roland, for covering the matter, because like we have to save ourselves. We know the federal government isn't going to save us, and we know the Civil Rights Department of the Department of Justice has been obliterated. And so there's nothing to turn to but us. And so I thank all the activists, I thank the community leaders, the clergy, and I thank you, Roland, and media, black-owned media, who won't let them sweep it under the rug. Because Jabari Peoples' life mattered.
Well, absolutely. And the reality, Ben, is that you had protesters there after y'all ended y'all news conference today. There, of course, were protesters I'm going to try to pull it up here in a second, who were, taken to the streets. And that's the thing. Folks have been taking to the streets consistently in Homewood, Alabama, demanding this video be released.
Yeah, because he was a good kid, Roland. Alabama A&M students are marching and protesting too. And another thing, Roland, the bullet, based on our autopsy, there was no exit wound, so that meant the bullet was lodged in his body. We don't even know what type of bullet it was, because the medical examiner and them have the bullet. And the activists, I love the young people. They are, the popular song, Boots on the Ground. They say, where them fans at? They're starting to say, where that bullet at? Because we don't even know what kind of bullet it was that killed Jabari Peoples.
All right, then. Ben Crump, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Hey, always, Roland. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Let me bring my pen on Dr. Mustafa Santiago Ali, former senior advisor for environmental justice at the EPA, joining us from D.C. Randy Bryant, entrepreneur, author of Never Says, 25 Phrases You Should Never Ever Say to Keep Your Job and Friends. Out of D.C., Michael Imhotep hosts African History Network show out of Detroit. Mustafa, I'll start with you. The thing here is we see this over and over and over again, and the reality is you're not getting justice when you talk about what's happening in the South, whether it's Alabama, Mississippi. So they always say, oh, no, can't release the body cam footage, and they hold off on it. But look, we've been down this road before. We know, without a doubt, that if this actually exonerated the cops, that video would have been out in 24 hours.
Oh, yeah. Or it might even been out sooner than that, actually. We've done so many stories on this, and, I keep hearing so many folks saying they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. We know how the game is played. We know, how they delay. We know how they continue to sacrifice us. I was remembering the words of Dr. King one time. He said we can never be satisfied as long as the black man is the victim of unspeakable horrors of police brutality. Now, lots of times people forget that Dr. King had that other side to him, where he understood the dynamics that were going on. In this country, the United States of America, last year we had 1,100 and I think it was 73 people who were killed by police. So we have a crisis that's going on. Yeah, we have a crisis because we got too many guns in this country, but we also have a crisis by people who are willing to pull the trigger when there are other ways of handling situations. And unfortunately, I have not yet found, it may exist, so I want to just give space for that. In other parts of the country, you know, they have different types of techniques to make sure that the first thing that they do is not pull the trigger. But unfortunately, in the South, you know, we are an endangered species there, to be quite honest with you. And that's the way that we are viewed, as inhuman, as something that they can take the life and then deal with the situations afterwards, because they know that there are forms of protection in place for them. So we've got to continue to put the pressure on. The Black Star Network is incredibly important because we tell the stories, we make sure people see the faces, you know, of what's actually going on out there, where others, you know, will ignore it or not give it the attention that it deserves. So we just got to make sure that we speak up for the dead because they don't have a voice.
Indeed, indeed. And this is a video here that took place. This was the protest that was taking place after they released those preliminary findings. This here, of course, was happening. You can
Homewood PD killed Jabari. Homewood PD killed Jabari. And Homewood PD should be held accountable. That's right. That's right. And so I'm grateful for a mentor for justice. Homewood PD killed Jabari.
Randy, I want to go to you. You know, it's what is so sad. It's another family. It is a fraternity / sorority that no family wants to be a member of, and it just happens over and over and over again. And it continues. And what people want, I mean, you hope there's a system. There's a system here that actually that is going to bring justice. Unfortunately, we have a system that gives these cops the benefit of the doubt. What it does is it just continues to, you know, let them off the hook. And again, you got a Donald Trump who wants to give them 100% immunity, he said, so they can do their jobs. So no accountability whatsoever.
You know, again, you know, I'm always rattled when we have these stories, although we have had, you know, unfortunately so many, particularly being a mother. And I think we have to be honest about what this is. I mean, these to me are modern day lynchings. Police officers are there to serve and protect not just some people, but all people, us included, which it seems as if they have forgotten. And they also have a duty to find any safe and reasonable method before they use force. That is what they're supposed to do. They are supposed to bring calm to situations. They're supposed to, again, keep us safe, not be our enemy, not where we're worried when a police officer is called. Meaning we have such a strained relationship, the Black community, with police officers because of things like this. I don't know how you justify shooting a young man in the back. I do not know how they will claim that there was no other alternative but to kill this young brother. My deepest condolences to his family and friends. And I am happy that they are being loud, continue to be loud. Do not allow Jabari Peoples' death to be in vain. Somebody must pay and be held accountable.
Michael?
Yeah, Roland, you know, this is another tragedy, and I think it's coming at a really terrible time because it's under a Trump administration. As you just said, Donald Trump ran on the platform of giving police 100% immunity. Okay, and you know, my heart goes out to the family on this. And yeah, if there was something exculpatory in the video that cleared the police, they would have released that video within 24 hours. The fact that this took place on June 23rd, and if I heard Attorney Benjamin Crump correctly, he said the autopsy coming from the medical examiner's office, that had the results of that have not been released yet either. Am I correct on that?
Right. That's right. That's what he said. That's what he said.
Yeah, so once again, that causes that was almost close to a month ago, and you still don't have the autopsy. So this is what we're looking at under a current Trump administration that just back in May 21st backed out of the consent decrees with the Louisville, Kentucky Police Department behind the killing of Breonna Taylor, backed out of the Minneapolis Police Department consent decree dealing with the killing of George Floyd, things of this nature. Now, one thing I found very interesting in the video from WVTM Channel 13, Reverend Dr. Wayne Harris was speaking, and he talked about the protests that were coming from this. And one of the things he said was that they were going to have economic boycotts and target the business district and things like this to get justice. So I would also be interested in finding out more information about that and how that's progressing as well.
Well, we're certainly going to keep covering the story in all the developments. Hold tight 1 second. I got to go to break. We come back. More on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network, including, things got heated on Capitol Hill. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett went off and laying the wood when it came to, you know what, all y'all red states keep whining and complaining about blue states, but who do you think gives y'all money? We show you how she broke this thing down. That more right here. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
On a Next, A Balanced Life, we talk about how to get in touch with your feelings, emotions, how to find your North Star, and how to move your life along.
Because oftentimes what we'll do is we'll accept what the world says about us as the truth and how we see ourselves, which that could be completely contrary to what the Word of God says about who you are.
That's on a Next, A Balanced Life here on Black Star Network.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
We're digging into the immigration crisis that's happening here right now.
It can impact each and every one of us. We're going to break down the topic of this constitutional crisis that is being led by the Trump administration and what you, as ordinary citizens, can do to speak up and speak out to fight back. This is The Other Side of Change, only on the Black Star Network.
What's up? It's Sammy Roman.
Hey, it's John Murray, the executive producer of the new Sherry Shepherd Talk Show.
It's me, Sherry Shepherd, and you know what you're watching, Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Texas Democrats in Congress are ripping Donald Trump's plan to redraw their state's political map. Next week, the Republican-controlled Texas legislature will consider a new set of congressional maps during a special session. With the Democrats in Austin currently out of power, Republicans having a supermajority, members of the state's congressional delegation anticipate that the new districts will continue the historic pattern of violating the Federal Voting Rights Act, which dilutes the votes of racial minorities. Now, Trump, he doesn't see this as gerrymandering. He makes it clear he just wants power.
Calling in for a complete redrawing of the congressional map ahead of next year?
Just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats. But we have a couple of other states where we'll pick up seats also.
No, that's what gerrymandering is. And so he wants to redraw the seats so they'll be able to have more power. Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett explains that this is the usual racism coming out of the state of Texas.
What would happen if they gerrymander? Can you talk on that? Thank you.
Yeah, so first of all, it hasn't quite been said clearly that Texas has always been found to be intentionally discriminatory. And so I want y'all to understand the makeup of my state. The state is a majority minority state. And what this legislature historically has done is what they plan to do again, is to dilute the voices of people of color in order to make sure that they can get to where they're trying to go. We saw this Department of Justice decided to put out a letter, and what did they do? We only have 4 seats that are represented by black folk, where the vast majority of the people that get to decide who they have represent them are black. They decided to attack 3 of the 4 seats that we have in the state. They decided to go after a Latina. They are specifically deciding to splinter the communities of common interest, as well as just blatantly say we are going to dilute minority voices. So we know that the courts, ever since we've had a Voting Rights Act, have always found this state to be intentionally discriminatory. That is what they are going to do. So I need people of color to understand that the scheme of the Republicans has consistently been to make sure that they mute our voices so that they can go ahead and have an oversized say in this. So I fully anticipate that's exactly where they're going with this map. It's the only way to do it. We didn't understand how we got to the map that they gave us last time because that state was grown by 95% people of color. They went out of their way to make sure that we got 0 new seats for people of color. So that's exactly what they're going to do this time.
Well, this here was a tweet from California Governor Gavin Newsom when Jake Sherman posted, President Donald Trump told Texas Republicans on a call this morning that the GOP will seek to get 5 new red seats in the mid-decade redistricting effort in Texas. Gavin Newsom said 2 can play that game. He later posted this tweet here. Let me find it right here. To this video, he goes, there are currently 9 Republicans in the California Congressional delegation. Just thought folks might like to know that fun fact. I mean, here's the whole deal here, Michael. Payback. I'm sorry. If they pull that crap in Texas, Democrats in Maryland, Illinois, California, New York should do the same.
Absolutely. And California, yeah, they should do the same. And it's going to have a devastating impact in California also. I saw Jasmine Crockett talk about this on the weekend on MSNBC as well. I know we talked about it some last week when you had Jasmine Crockett on also, Roland. So, yeah, this is good old-fashioned white supremacist gerrymandering. Donald Trump can try to deny it, just like he denied knowing about Project 2025, just like he denied reading Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler. He can deny it all he wants to. But the proof is in their actions. The proof is in the pudding. And according to reporting from outlets like New York Times, and we talked about this last week, you know, Trump called Governor Greg Abbott, asking him to redraw the district lines. And, you know, they're targeting 5 districts, and they're trying to eliminate people like Jasmine Crockett. So we need to, as African Americans, we need to see these moves being made. They're playing right in front of our face. So this is why we have to turn out, vote our numbers, and vote these people, vote these Republicans out of office and stop them. Stop what they're trying to do to us.
Randy, one of the candidates who is running for the 18th congressional race, that's to replace the late Sylvester Turner, who replaced the late Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. This is what he actually posted. He said, blue states must gerrymander Republicans the same way they're doing us. Blue states must ditch, quote, independent redistricting committees for now to force Republicans into a national gerrymandering ban. They were created with good intentions, but times are different. Fight fire with fire. He's right. I believe in independent, committees doing this. They tried to. The voters in Ohio actually passed that. They passed it. The Republicans said we're not going to listen to you. They tried the same thing in Michigan. So even when the will of the voters, when they do it, Republicans still say, we don't give a damn because they want power. Democrats had better understand what's going on here.
And they better understand that we are at war and we keep trying to play by the rules when the Republicans don't play by the rules and change the rules and do anything to win. And so this is a mud fight. This is a mud fight. And so we do need to do to them what they're doing to us. It's the only way we have a chance. And we can't continue to say we're going to do it the proper way or the way that it should be done. We have to fight fire, as he said, with fire. We need to ensure that our voices are being heard because they're doing everything in their power to ensure that they aren't.
You know, the thing that trips me here, I just sit here and look at these decisions and look at how how Republicans literally just say, we don't care. There was a voter-approved initiative in Utah. They're like, we don't care. We just saw the voters in Missouri pass a voter-approved. Republicans like, yeah, when it came to sick leave, they came to that. They're like, yeah, we don't care. And so they don't. And so this is where I have been saying for the longest. Democrats are trying to play a game, Mustafa, that is operating. They're using old rules where the opposition is saying, I'm sorry, what rules? We don't care. And then when they don't like it, they'll cry foul. That's why you have to say, no. We're going to break your backs. We're going to completely go after you. We're not playing nice. Democrats have got to play a ruthless game because they have a ruthless opponent.
No, I agree. I mean, here's the reality of the situation, right? So Republicans will punk Democrats until Democrats get tired of it. It's like the kid on the playground who, the bully comes up to you and takes your lunch money and continues to jack you up every day. And until you decide you're going to fight back, they're going to continue to do it. So, when I see Jasmine and others actually speaking out in a very effective way and really putting and highlighting, not just the injustices that are going on, but you don't have to take it. You have to ask the question, why ain't more people actually doing that? Why don't we actually let people know that when they talk about fiscal responsibility, that as we talked about earlier, it's the blue states who are the ones who are subsidizing the red states. So until you stop allowing someone to just run all over you, and do what's necessary and stop operating from an antiquated playbook, that's from 30 or 40 years ago when there used to be some humility, when there used to be some folks who were trying to, govern through bipartisan sets of actions. You got to have a 21st century playbook now, and you've got to understand who these folks are and what they're the lengths that they're actually willing to go to not only hold on to power, but also to hold on to wealth and to, continue to strip away any opportunity for fairness to be a part of the process. So I'm glad that there are some folks who are starting to stand up. I hope more people do it. I do hope sometime in the future that we get back to actually governing in a way that makes sense.
Yep.
But until we get there, we got to do what you got to do.
And this is from Punchbowl News. Ohio Republicans, this is June 2025, weigh how ruthless to be in redistricting. And so what does it say? It said that the current GOP drawn map has 10 Republicans and 5 Democrats. Ohio's unusual redistricting laws mandate a redraw ahead of 2026 because the current map passed without bipartisan support. In the 2022 cycle, the Ohio Supreme Court reined in the GOP legislature. But, and what do we always say when it comes to Supreme Court races? It says now Republicans control all but one seat on Ohio's top court. And the question is whether they'll try to draw a map that could elect 12 or 13 Republicans. The 2 Democrats on the chopping block, Representatives Marcy Kaptur in Northwest Ohio and CBC member Amelia Sykes in the Akron-based 13th district. And so they're looking to do this, folks, not just in Texas, but Ohio as well. Remember, Democrats only need to pick up 5 seats to control the House. Right now, North Carolina, there used to be a 10-3 Republican majority. Then when Democrats controlled the Supreme Court, it went to 7-7. That's those 4 seats Republican control. And guess what? Now it's back to 10-3. So that's why they're trying to redraw the lines, because they are deathly afraid that they could lose anywhere from 8 to 10 seats next year, thus giving the House control to the Democrats, and they don't want to do that. And so we'll be watching what happens in all of these states. Going to a break, we come back. We're going to talk about the mayor of Gary, Indiana. What is the impact of this $14 billion steel merger that's happening in the country? We'll discuss that. Folks, don't forget to support us on Roland Martin Unfiltered and the Black Star Network. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. Your dollars make it possible for us to do the work that we do. If you want to contribute to our Bring the Funk fan club via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here. Click the Cash App Pay button to contribute. If you want to send a check or money order, make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. Send it to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 2003 7-0196. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo RM Unfiltered. Zelle Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. We'll be right back.
On the next Get Wealthy with me, Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, Black women are starting businesses at the fastest rate than any other segment. However, finding the funding to build them is challenging. On our next Get Wealthy, we're going to talk with author Catherine Finney, who wrote the book, Build the Damn Thing. And she's going to be sharing exactly what we need to do to achieve success in spite of the odds.
As an entrepreneur of color, it's first, building your personal advisory board. I think that's one of the things that's helped me the most. The personal advisory board of the people who are in the business of you personally, and want to see you succeed.
That's right here on Get Wealthy, only on Black Star Network.
Hello, we're the Critter Fixers. I'm Dr. Bernard Hodges.
And I'm Dr. Terrence Ferguson.
And you're tuned in to
Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Folks, Gary, Indiana, home to the largest steel mill in the nation. The mayor of that city, Eddie Melton, is excited about a new $14 billion partnership between U.S. Steel and Japan's Nippon Steel. The deal is expected to create 70,000 jobs nationwide, significantly impacting this predominantly African-American city. Mayor Melton joins us right now. Mayor, how you doing? I can't hear the mayor, folks. He's on mute.
All right.
There we go. There we go. Doing great. So right now, in terms of jobs in your city, how many jobs does this mill provide right now?
Right now, we're at about 4,000 jobs. And as you know, the downsize of the steel industry, at one point, U.S. Steel had nearly 30,000 jobs in the city of Gary alone. So it has been a tremendous downturn over the last, I would say, 40 to 50 years.
And so, as a result, what type of expansion are you expecting to take place with this deal?
Right. Well, to give some context to your listening audience, we know that the city of Gary was founded by the founders of U.S. Steel, Andrew Carnegie, Elbert H. Gary, and so many others that helped build the steel industries around the United States. So that's the reason why the city of Gary was established. When that occurred, over the next 120 years or more, the growth of this city had took place. And we know during the movement of the black migration, we have blacks from the South that migrated here to work and look for that American dream in terms of jobs and in terms of successful for their family. I would say right after my mentor, Mayor Richard Gordon Hatcher, he passed, there was a opportunity for us to really bring back what he helped to get established in the city, and that's that pride, that's that grit, that determination. So we worked very intently to rebuild that relationship with U.S. Steel. That relationship had been stretched for a number of decades. I was skeptical on this deal, like many people around the country, to have a Japanese company to purchase an iconic American company. But after further vetting and working with Congressional Black Caucus members like Congresswoman Maxine Waters and Congressman Benny Thompson, they both helped me as we kind of figure out how do we put this the city of Gary in the best position if this deal were to go through.
And so, yeah, I mean, obviously it was a whole lot of back and forth in terms of what's going to happen next. And so that was interesting in terms of will the merger get approved. Then there was this talk about there was some kind of special provision that Trump would oversee it, and it was all sort of stuff like that. But so when you talk about 70,000 jobs nationwide, where will the bulk of those jobs be, or will they be in different parts of the country?
Right. So right now we're looking at around Pennsylvania, we're looking at Indiana and Alabama. So some of those states will definitely see a lion's share of those jobs. Let me go back to your original question. I don't think I kind of missed a portion of that. I want to make sure that's answered. In the city of Gary, blast furnace number 14 is one of U.S. Steel's largest steel-producing blast furnace right here in the city of Gary. And that blast furnace will be relined, and additional 3 other blast furnaces will be refurbished. That means there will be an increase of steel production for many years to come. Every time a blast furnace is relined, it gives it another 30 to 40 years of life. So we're talking about another 1,000 jobs potentially per blast furnace. Right now, I'm in discussions with U.S. Steel, the current leadership, and the leadership of Nippon Steel as they continue to work on their merger, a partnership, shall I say, and figuring out what specific implications will that be on the hiring aspect. So we'll be working with our school corporation as well as our local universities to make sure the workforce development and the training pieces are in place to ensure that local residents have a priority in the placement of those jobs.
Questions from the panel. Let's see here. Randy, you first.
When we say that we're going to, come back and hopefully get the steel mill industry back up, because there's been a huge decline, like 58% decline, will they put in place some changes to ensure that, the process is more environmentally friendly and also to protect the people who work in these mills? Because I know there's been, a lot of health concerns about people who had long careers.
No, absolutely. For the city of Gary, that has been a tremendous concern. Myself, that grew up in the city, grew up with asthma, and so many others that live in the footprint of the steel production process. Myself and our environmental advocates, we met with Nippon early in these negotiations to ensure that the technology that they use in their Japanese steelmaking process will also be converted over here in the American process. Nippon is ranked number 4 in the world in terms of steel production. U.S. Steel has dropped to number 24, 24th in the world. However, the steel making process in the United States has been not as clean as the Japanese process. So the technology and the protections around their intellectual brand in terms of bringing that here is part of that conversation in hopes that it'll be a cleaner process in the steel making process.
Thank you.
Mustafa?
Yeah. Well, Mayor, thank you for answering that question that Randy asked you. That's incredibly important. Part of my family actually worked in the steel mills in Pittsburgh, years and years and years ago. I'm curious about the role that unions are playing and how you see, them being strengthened. We know that the current administration has not necessarily been friendly to unions. So I'm interested in how you're going to play a role in making sure that we change that dynamic.
No, absolutely. Well, I can't speak for the administration, right? I'll speak for myself, the son of a steel worker, someone that has been a part of the steelmaking process my entire life. My father worked for EJ&E Railroad at the Kirkyard at the steel mill, so it is extremely important that we support our organized labor. The one thing I will say, majority of the frontline workers, the union workers, supported this deal, especially those in Pennsylvania. If you go back and look at some of the commentary in the negotiation process. Now, union leadership would not so much. I think that was more of a political decision on a more national level. But rank and file, that was something important to myself and my team, that the union contract will be honored. We know that they'll be entering into negotiations for the next contract in 2026. We also advocated, myself and other mayors in Pennsylvania, advocated for a signing bonus for these individuals once this deal has been done. And I believe that has already taken place thus far. So I agree. Making sure that organized labor is protected, making sure that there was no plant closures in this process and moving forward, and also ensuring that production doesn't shift from cities like Gary, like Pennsylvania, to non-union states, like I believe Arkansas is one of their non-union states where they, and that was something that was very important to us in that negotiating process.
Michael.
Governor Melton. I'm sorry, Mayor Melton. I'm predicting something for you, but I was wondering, with this potential investment coming, this potential expansion, has there been any talks about contracts with the plants, contracts with the companies, et cetera, especially for African-American owned businesses? We know that contracts with corporations is one of the ways that we're able to scale our businesses, whether it's janitorial services, transportation, et cetera. Have there been any talks about that?
No, absolutely. Actually, the meeting that we had with Congresswoman Maxine Waters and Congressman Benny Thompson was that specific request. And I gave a long list of things that we thought was a priority for the city of Gary. That was ensuring that local hiring was a priority. Out of the 4,000 employees that I mentioned to Roland earlier in this segment, they claim that 10% of those live in Gary. Now, I can't verify that, but in this new process, we're going to make sure that we can kind of have a checks and balance to ensure that local hiring is a preference and a priority for them. But when it comes down to the subcontractors and the kind of the ancillary providers to the steelmaking process, that's something that we are going to be very intentional on working with them to make those introductions, be it if it's in construction, be it if it's in the hauling of waste and disposal of things of that nature. That's something that we are definitely prioritizing.
All right, thank you.
Now, let me say this.
All right, then, well, Mayor. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to share this. This being a private deal, one of the things we had to do, I had to inject myself in this process because no one asked me whether I supported this deal or not. I had to create a seat at the table. The city of Gary allowed, well, I will say the state of Indiana, and going back to your previous segment, I was state senator for 2 terms, and we've seen gerrymandering at its finest in the state of Indiana. The state of Indiana 20 years ago allowed U.S. Steel to self-assess their property taxes. We had a $120 million budget in the city of Gary. And in a year, that budget was cut in half. So that was a divestment in our infrastructure, in our police, and fire, and so many other areas. So we've seen a lot of deterioration in these areas, but I'm happy to say right now we're turning that corner. We have a 50% reduction in our homicide rates. A lot of folks say Gary murder capital. That's no longer that narrative. So I appreciate you, Roland, for allowing me to come on to tell that new story of the investment of the $14 billion. $3 billion will be invested specifically in Gary.
All right, then. Well, again, as somebody who's covered city government, I've seen how that looks, and a lot of people have no understanding the type of tax breaks and incentives that states, a lot, especially Republicans, give these folks. But then they complain about stuff being funded, and a lot of residents don't understand that a lot of companies are not paying their fair share of taxes because they've been given a lot of these tax breaks.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. But we own it.
All right, then. All right, Mayor Milton, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Peace. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. All right, folks, got to go to break. We come back. More we want to talk about on the show, including California Governor Gavin Newsom getting real raw on a podcast when it comes to who drives the money in this country. And Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett followed up on Capitol Hill, letting these folks have it. Oh, we can't wait to show y'all that. Plus, the latest, the drama at St. Augustine's University. Why is it that the faculty, why is it the alumni have chosen their own rep, but the board won't seat the person? What the hell is going on? Y'all got something to hide? You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr, we look at one of the most influential and prominent Black Americans of the 20th century. His work literally changed the world. Among other things, he played a major role in creating the United Nations. He was the first African American and first person of color to win the Nobel Peace Prize. And yet today, he is hardly a household name. We're talking, of course, about Ralph J. Bunche. A new book refers to him as the absolutely indispensable man.
His lifelong interest and passion in racial justice, specifically in the form of colonialism. And he saw his work as an activist and advocate for the Black community here in the United States as just the other side of the coin of his work trying to roll back European empire in Africa.
Author Cal Rostiala will join us to share his incredible story. That's on the next Black Table here on the Black Star Network.
Hello, I'm Paula J. Parker. Trudy Proud on the Proud Family.
I am Tommy Davidson. I play Oscar on Proud Family, Louder and Proud.
Hi, I'm Jo Marie Payton, voice of Sugar Mama on Disney's Louder and Prouder, Disney Plus. And I'm with Roland Martin on Unfiltered.
Am I the only one who's thoroughly enjoying this MAGA meltdown over Jeffrey Epstein? Oh, my God. These folks are losing their minds. And Donald Trump is like, yo, y'all need to stop. In fact, he called Charlie Kirk, who it tells you right now, Charlie Kirk is nothing but an imp of Donald Trump. So he called him and was like, yo, I need you to stop talking about this, okay? I need you to stop bringing up Jeffrey Epstein. But MAGA's not doing it. And in fact, like that, this is what's so hilarious, okay? This is literally a tweet that Donald Trump sent out right here. So stop talking about Epstein. But then somebody edited this tweet from 2 years ago of his own son saying, show us all the Epstein client list now. Why would anyone protect those scumbags? Ask yourselves this question daily, and the answers become very apparent. This has been hilarious, y'all, as folks been pulling up old comments. You've got Dan Bongino supposedly threatening to quit if if the files were not released. Pam Bondi's like, yo, there's nothing there, so what's the big deal? And Trump was like, it's not going to be released. In fact, I love this mashup right here of MAGA folks losing their minds. This is before Trump was inaugurated, when it came to the issue of Epstein. Listen.
Please do not let that story go.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is I mean, there's
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
This isn't about Epstein or 9/11 or JFK or RFK. It is, but it isn't. It's about a bigger thing. If you're lying about that, you're lying about everything. Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
And this is something Donald Trump has talked about. The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
Everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
You urge people to move on.
Oh, my God, these people have been tripping. And in fact, hold up. I got to play this with him. Check this out. Here's Donald Trump being asked about it. Give me 1 second. I got to play this one for y'all because this one's too much. Okay, here we go. All right, let me get this one queued up, y'all. Okay.
I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled? Why do you think that is?
Why they would be so interested dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake. All that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say let them have it.
I mean, if it's no big deal, I don't understand why y'all freaking out by it. In fact, I saw, in fact, Mike Johnson, now he's pissed him off because Mike Johnson's like, yeah, we should go to release this here. And you know what? And then, of course, you got Speaker Hakeem Jeffries. He's like, you know what I mean? What the hell? You know what? We might as well just see what they want to do. Here is Democratic leader Jeffrey speaking on.
Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public domain. This was a conspiracy that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and these MAGA extremists have been fanning the flames of for the last several years. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. The American people deserve to know the truth. What, if anything, is the Trump administration and the Department of Justice hiding? What are you hiding? If you're not hiding anything, prove that to the American people. And if you are trying to hide something, as many of Donald Trump's MAGA supporters apparently believe, then the Congress should actually work hard to try to uncover the truth for the American people. There are only two things that are possible here. Option one, Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and the MAGA extremists intentionally lied to the American people for years about the Jeffrey Epstein situation. That's option one. Option two is that, in fact, there's reason for the American people to be concerned as it relates to what information has not been released that could be damaging to the Trump administration and the friends and family of the Trump administration and their billionaire corrupt supporters. And so they're actively engaging in a cover-up. Option one, they lied for years. Option two, they're engaging in a cover-up. At this point, it seems reasonable that can only be one of the two things. And so it's Congress's responsibility in a bipartisan way to ask the questions and try to get answers on behalf of the American people.
I can't hear him.
What happened? Today, the House voted. And all the Republicans were like, nah, we ain't about to release these files. I'm getting a kick out of all of this. But what's crazy to me is to literally watch the meltdown. And he's mad. The White House is saying, Mustafa, yo, can we move on? They're trying to get MAGA to stop, but guess what? They whipped those folks into a frenzy because they were like, yo, Bill Clinton's on that list. But Donald Trump, his phone number was in Epstein's black book, and they got to own up to it. So their own side is now eating them. They don't know how to stop it. I find all of this to be absolutely delightful.
There's a lot of cannibalism going on right now on that side of the equation. People should care. Here's why people should care, because we're talking about sex trafficking and trying to understand who all was a part of that. Everybody, or not everybody, but a whole lot of people cared when it was talking about Puffy or P. Diddy, you know, in relationship to that. So why should we not also care as equally about this type of a situation, and let the chips fall where they may. No matter whom it is that's on that list, folks need to know. You need to know to make sure, one, that they're brought to justice. You need to know in case you know one of your kids or somebody else is hanging out around them or near them. So sex trafficking is a very serious thing. And we know how many women and girls end up disappearing or end up getting pulled into that. So, yeah, we need to know. And, yeah, MAGA should care and everybody else should care because we should be making sure that we are protecting women and girls in our country.
Well, and just so folks know, I mean, that was a literal vote. This is the tweet right here. Just in, Republicans in the House Rules Committee killed an Epstein measure put forward by Representative Ro Khanna that would have forced the Department of Justice to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. The vote was 5-7, with Reverend Ralph Northam being the only Republican committee member to vote in favor of the measure. This here is Democratic member McGovern talking about it, and I mean, to me, he's only making sense.
I move the committee make an order amendment number 50 to H.R. 3633, offered by Representative Khanna, which would require the Attorney General to preserve and release any records related to Jeffrey Epstein. Madam Chair, on February 21st, 2025, President Trump's own Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said on Fox News, the Epstein client list was sitting on her desk, quote, right now to review, end quote. Kash Patel, Trump's FBI director, said during his confirmation hearing that he would do everything, if confirmed, to make sure the American people knew, quote, the full weight of what happened, end quote. Patel, who now leads the FBI, said on the Benny Johnson show that the FBI was hiding the Epstein client list. Donald Trump Jr., the president's own son, tweeted out, and I quote, show us all the Epstein client list right now. Why would anyone protect those scumbags? Ask yourselves this question, and then the answer becomes very apparent, end quote. And now, forgive me, but suddenly these same people are telling us there's nothing to see here. Trump is posting that we should all just move on. Well, I want to know what the hell is in these files. And I think we all want to know why Trump is suddenly changing his tune and is so desperate to sweep this under the rug. But you know what? This also gets at his credibility. This is about trust. Republicans said, trust us, vote for us, and we will release these files. And here we are. They are backtracking. They said they aren't going to cut Medicaid, and they did. They said they wouldn't add to the deficit and debt. They exploded both. They said that they stand with law enforcement. They won't even hang a plaque honoring officers for their heroism on January 6th. They talk about law and order and can't even condemn the president for pardoning the people who violently attacked the Capitol building. So please forgive me if I don't believe a word of any of it. This isn't about gotcha politics. It's about credibility.
So here's the whole thing for me. Here's the whole thing for me right here as I look at all of this. I mean, I don't get it, Randy. Just release it.
You know, what I wonder is what's bottom for them. I mean, we've always known that, one, Epstein and Trump were friends. We've always known that Trump has had been found guilty of, abusing women and lying on women. So do the Republican women...
No, girls.
Girls, right.
Girls, underage girls, not women, right, girls, and got a sweetheart deal, got a sweetheart deal where he stayed, where Trump's Department of Labor Secretary the first time was the prosecutor, got a sweetheart deal where he could be out of jail 16 hours a day, and he would just go into jail to sleep overnight.
But that's what I'm saying. What is their bottom? All of a sudden, do they have a moral code? Do they care about what this convicted felon has done all of a sudden? I mean, what is their bottom? And it's obvious that there's a cover-up going on. I mean, they've said, we have the black book. We have his client list. And now all of a sudden, it's disappeared suddenly. I mean, to me...
No, they held a news conference holding up binders. They held a news conference holding up Epstein binders. And in fact, I love... Okay, now watch this here. Watch this. I want people to see. Watch how... This is Bill O'Reilly on News Nation, on Leland Vittert show, Leland Vittert, conservative, all right, on News Nation. I mean, and even Vittert, you could tell, I mean, about like a lightning bolt hit him because he had to fact check as Bill O'Reilly tried to blame this on Biden-Harris. Watch this.
The Biden administration had exactly the same thing the Trump administration has on Epstein. Exactly. Right. Because Epstein was convicted during the Biden administration. Not one time did Hakeem Jeffrey call for any exposition of what the Biden Justice Department knew. Not once. So this guy's a top phony. Okay, he's a political player. He doesn't care about the truth. He doesn't care about the people.
Hold on, Bill.
This is what
hold on.
he
I just
does.
got. Hold on, Bill. Hold on. You said Epstein was convicted during the Biden administration. Epstein committed suicide during the Trump administration.
Yes. So
how is he convicted? How do you convict
Epstein
a guy who's dead?
was convicted in I believe, okay, under Merrick Garland's Justice Department. That could be. Am I wrong on that? I don't think so. And then he was incarcerated, and then he committed suicide. Okay. The suicide thing is bull. Whether you
Bill, I think this is important. Bill, I think this is important. He was arrested in 2019, and he committed suicide in 2019. He died August 10th of 2019. So the Biden administration was not involved in a conviction or a trial of him. They were in of his madam, of Ghislaine Maxwell.
Okay. And that's a good point of clarification. But he was arrested and indicted under Merrick Garland.
No, under Trump.
Who had all of the information.
Epstein was arrested, indicted, and committed suicide under Trump. In 2019, Trump was president. Merrick Garland was not the attorney general.
Okay.
Okay, I'm a dumbass. I mean, Michael, he said there, his entire point was blown up because you're an idiot, Bill O'Reilly.
Exactly. And Bill O'Reilly's full of shit, too. Let's just put it out there, okay? And people talk about Joe Biden and his memory. I'll take Joe Biden any day over Bill O'Reilly, all right? Mm-hmm. Yes, August 10th, 2019. Jeffrey Epstein died in federal custody. Okay, Donald Trump was president. All right, so all the people who talked about the Biden crime family and Representative Joe Comer, and you have these Biden investigations that Republicans are launching. So you don't want to release all of the evidence, all of the files, all the information there with Jeffrey Epstein. I remember when Pam Bondi had the influencers there and podcasters, and they gave them binders. They're holding up binders. I'm wondering, okay, what's in the binders? Okay, they need to bring that up now and grill her. Okay, what was in those binders that you gave people? But you know, Roland, I think this comes down to what Michael Steele said a couple of nights ago, or maybe last night on MSNBC. He said, when Donald Trump used to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein and they were friends, Donald Trump was a Democrat. Now, you know, when they thought that when MAGA, when Republicans thought it was just a bunch of Democrats on the list or in the files or whatever, they wanted it. Now that the former top Democrat is in the White House, now all of a sudden it's a problem. And I agree with Hakeem Jeffries. Release all of it. No, tell the truth. Cleanse your soul if you have one left. Release all of it. So, and these are people, man, who made money off of these conspiracy theories. Cash Patel on various podcasts. Dan Bongino. These are people
they all got paid
a lot of money pushing this. They all got paid pimping this and lying to MAGA. And now the people who they fed the lies to are turning on them. I'm like, hey, like the club banger from the year 2000 by DJ Godfather said, let them hoes fight. Let them fight. Let them fight this out.
I'm just going to sit here and enjoy these fools just smacking each other. All right, y'all. Going to a break. We come back. We're going to talk about what's happening at St. Augustine's University. More drama with this in Battle University. They lost their accreditation appeal. They got money problems. Why in the hell won't this Board of Trustees seat a duly elected representative of the alumni? They got something to hide? We'll talk to that representative next, right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
We're digging into the immigration crisis that's happening here right now.
It can impact each and every one of us. We're going to break down the topic of this constitutional crisis that is being led by the Trump administration and what you, as ordinary citizens, can do to speak up and speak out to fight back. This is The Other Side of Change, only on the Black Star Network.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Devon Franklin. It is always a pleasure to be in the house. You are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. Stay right here.
All right, y'all. We have been covering the St. Augustine's University. This is like a soap opera. It's a sad soap opera for quite some time. Just one thing after another. We've been sitting here, we did a town hall down there. They didn't have students on campus. They got financial problems. I mean, just over and over and over again, accreditation issues, you name it. And one of the things that makes no sense deals with the seating of the alumni rep. Now, Steve Williams, in May 2024, y'all, that's a year ago, was elected as a National Alumni Association representative to the St. Augustine's Board of Trustees. He was sworn in on June 26, 2024, but has yet to assume his position. In October, the board, led by Chair Brian Boulware, voted unanimously not to ratify Williams' role for which he was elected. They cited his involvement in a lawsuit aimed at removing the board as the reason for their decision. But he was still elected by the alumni. Williams joins us right now to discuss the petition to get him seated as St. Augustine's University's alumni trustee. So again, Steve, this is real simple. The alumni chose you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the alumni chose you, and they literally have an alumni seat on the board, and Brian Boulware saying, nah, we ain't seating you.
Yeah, and basically that's what he's been saying the entire time. And to give you a real interesting timeline, I was, like you said, I was elected in May 2024, sworn in June 26. Email was sent to Brian Boulware, actually sent to the president, Marcus Burgess, which is the proper channel. He, in turn, sent that email from the National Alumni President directly to the entire board on July 7th, to be exact. We did not get a response until on my birthday, September the 4th, saying this is the first time he's received it. Then we did not get another response on the 25th of September. We did not get a response until October 8th, and that's when my name was added to the lawsuit because I started, getting a little upset, and I added my name to the lawsuit to sue for my seat because I knew this was more than just a time lag.
Right. So you added your name to the lawsuit to get your seat, and he said, nah, you ain't going to be seated because you added your name to the lawsuit. Right. And you added your name to the lawsuit because you weren't seated.
Exactly. And not only that, they had plenty of time. They knew days after I was sworn in by the National Alumni. They knew. He even knew when I was running. He knew it. So basically what it seems like is that what are you afraid of? It's basically pure and simple, right? If I would have been seated, the lawsuit would have went forward. We lost our initial lawsuit on technicality, which is standing, because nobody had, there was not an official seated Board of Trustee member on the board. So I wasn't officially seated, so I could not bring a lawsuit forward. That is the North Carolina statute. Nevertheless, they knew once I was seated, that lawsuit would have proceeded and all of the malfeasance and things of that nature in our case file would have been shown. Open in court. And still to this day can be...
Yeah, so what was... Yeah. So what this tells me, what this tells me, is that, and this is what this tells me is that Chairman Brian Boulware and the other board members, the last thing they want is somebody new coming on who has access to documents and who can demand transparency.
Absolutely. They ran on, and this is funny, Chairman Boulware ran on transparency and things of that nature, and he's been opposite of everything he's ran on, first and foremost. He met with us last night, alumni. This is the first time since he's been chairman he even met with alumni. And that was a terrible meeting last night, I can tell you that. Alumni were not happy. All the actual board of trustee members.
So hold on. So the chair.
Yes.
So how many board members were on the call last night meeting with alumni?
I think it was about 9, if I'm not 7 to 9, that were on there. And I don't have my screenshot of counting the members, but I think it was about 7 of them.
So, okay, so they meet with the alumni. So what the hell do they say? Because, I mean, did they give the alumni any reason, hey, we want to meet with y'all. Oh, by the way, the hell with the person y'all picked to be the alumni rep on the board. We ain't seating him. Did they even address that?
No, they addressed it in the chat when it was asked by one of the alums, you know, hey, we had a vote and our representative hasn't been seated. Well, the response was from the interim president who replied to it. Well, the board did not approve the alumni representative. That was his response.
First of all, why in the hell is the interim president speaking on anything related to the board? Is he on the board?
He's an ex officio member of the board. Yes.
Yeah, but the reality is the board should be speaking to that.
The board. No.
The board chair. He's not a part of the. That's what I'm saying. He's not a part of the board. In fact, he reports to the board.
Exactly. But the problem is this. He's always been doing that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. He's always answered for the board. Even when we had the lawsuit, who do you think was the only person to show up for the board and represent the board? Interim President Burgess. Nobody from the Board of Trustees showed up.
Wow, that's just crazy to me. So here's to me the biggest issue that I see with all of this is that this board can do whatever they want because essentially they're self-governed. There's nobody over them. There's nobody they're reporting to, so they can do whatever the hell they want to do.
Unfortunately, yes. They've taken a 140-page, actually it was 156-page bylaw, and they've trimmed it down to 25 pages and to encapsulate themselves from actually being governed. Now, the only entity that has standing and can control them is the North Carolina Attorney General, because they're still mandated under the nonprofit. As a nonprofit organization, the Attorney General has the right to step in at any point.
And so what the hell is he doing?
There is a current ongoing investigation because the day that our court case was announced and when it came across the news, the actual Attorney General basically said they're opening up an investigation on it. Now, there have been conversations. I personally have had several conversations with 2 of the attorneys that are leading the effort from the AG's office. I've had several communications with them. They are not at liberty to tell me the status of the case, but they can see that it's reached a point where our university is basically deteriorated. We have cases of vandalism. I mean, there are egregious things happening on that campus that, it's just disheartening to any alumni. And we don't want it to get to a point where our university becomes a blighted area. And then you know what happens to blighted areas, to blighted real estate locations when it becomes a eyesore to the community. So we're just, alumni is all up in arms. Last night's call did not help us out at all. The only thing they did was blame previous administrations. They even blamed a whistleblower for the Sachs issues. And, you know, that was really, they really took a far reach for that because the whistleblower, she won her case. So obviously you were doing some egregious things. That's why we've been on, you know, kind of Sachs probation ever since. So it's just, Roland, it's just disheartening. I'm here to serve the alumni. I want to do my job. And it's kind of like, I just hate it. I really just hate it. And I hate it for alumni. I hate it for current and future students. And we're all just tired of the games because all they're doing is playing games at this point.
Well, look, and all they do is complain. Oh my God, all of this bad media attention that we get, you know, stuff on social. Yeah, but you're inviting it yourself. Let's just sort of just recap. Let's see. The school is so run down, buildings are so run down, you don't have students on campus. You got people who've given money to the school and they can't figure out where the money has gone. By their own admission, that COVID money just somehow disappeared and no one can seem to track what happened to it when other schools actually were bailed out of their financial problem due to the money they got from COVID. Let's see. Your graduating class, folk didn't know they were going to graduate. Am I missing anything? Let's see here. Oh, you lose your accreditation appeal. Let's see here. Bad deals that the AG had to step in and shut down when you were going to literally lease the land to a group out of Florida that has no history of development whatsoever. And just on and on and on. And then, wait, hold up. I forgot. You got a board chair who gets slapped with a major lawsuit and loses it by getting loaned some money by another board member. So you got a dude who's the chair who can't manage his own money, but he's trying to manage the money of a school with financial problems. Oh, hell no.
Not only that, Roland, when he was actually going through this, both of them were active board members. So he had an open case. But they want to tell me that, oh, you joined a lawsuit and you were suing the board. Well, sir, you were being sued directly from another board member at the same time. So the hypocrisy is just, it's funny. And, to keep from getting upset, because I'm a Bull City born and I don't like mess, I think for me, it's just I have to laugh a lot because to me, it just gets to a point where when you know it's a game and you know, they have nothing else, this guy has nothing else to do, then, you just look at it for what it is. I mean, really and truly, but we laugh, but at the end of the day, the students are the ones being harmed. The faculty members that you were not able to pay are harmed. The faculty members that have to pay all of these medical bills because you didn't, do them right, you didn't pay into their insurance, that's the harm. You didn't pay into their 401k. So they can't even, with all the money they put in retirement is gone because you never did anything with it, but you showed it coming out of their check. So I'm like, that's the reason why you're in the media. It has nothing to do with our fight. It's your mismanagement, your malfeasance, and the point that you do not care and you do not have a pulse. To me, that is the ultimate disrespect to the legacy, first and foremost, and that is a disrespect to every individual that graduated from St. Augustine's University.
And they have this huge financial crisis. They've lost various judgments. And they actually want alumni to keep sending money?
That was the part last night. We had to laugh at that, Roland. I mean, literally, it's a lot of us that just bust out laughing because you're going to ask alumni, this is your first time as a board that you even met with the entire alumni since he's been chair. The first time you give us a rundown of 50 million in debt. One, that was a lot of that was incurred by this board, mainly some of them, 4 of them, because you didn't even show up for court. So we had judgments.
Right.
So a lot of those, when you sit back, it's like you caused a lot of this. But still and yet you want to ask alumni to cough up 250 to 350K to pay for the lawyers to put an injunction in place. I don't see it. Because really, at the end of the day, you're just delaying the inevitable. We've lost our accreditation. But a group of us, definitely, I can name it Falcons Unite, we have decided to move forward. We already have things in place, already reached out and contacted individuals that will help us with getting certifications and things of that nature. We're already and have already planned for not receiving our accreditation. So eventually we could, retain our accreditation. But the more they keep playing with these legal maneuvers, we're going to be even further in the hole. And they're still trying to say to us last night, oh, we're going to, lease the land to some developers, but we're still going to have control. Everybody that knows real estate, once you lease a property to a developer, you have no control over that land anymore. So you're really talking to a lot of educated individuals, but obviously the Board of Trustees doesn't think so. That doesn't think that we're really educated and can see through, excuse my language, see through the BS.
I wouldn't give this board a quarter to hold on to.
We haven't, and it's basically we've sat back and said, look, we created a 501c3, the Oakwood Falcon Foundation. That is a trusted source. We've asked alumni, and alumni have given in abundance to all of the events that we have to take care of, especially when you're talking about when the students were on campus, we were feeding the students directly by filling the food pantry. Additionally, we were providing students with various food cards and things of that nature because they didn't have any cafeteria to go to. So we provided them food cards so they can go get groceries and things of that nature. More importantly, what we were doing is, and what we evolved to, we had to start paying bills. And I'm literally from security to faculty and staff to, paying for students to go home that didn't, when the school decided they wanted to close up, we had to pay for bus tickets. So we did this.
Wow.
And basically through alumni, we had to and keep doing it. We were paying phone bills, mortgages, rent, all of these things. And it just got to a point where really, you really had to sit back and say, is this actually happening on a college university campus? We're right around the corner from the governor's mansion. Walks. I mean, we can walk 5 minutes to the governor's mansion. We know everybody, that's been a hot spot. That's 100 acres down to basically right around the corner from the governor's mansion in Raleigh. We know.
Yep.
We know what it's about. An old historic Oakwood Avenue. We've been knowing ever since I was in school and I graduated in the 90s. So we've known that this is prime real estate. But the thing about it is that what has occurred now is that you have an individual that basically has, aligned himself with those developers. Because each deal they tried to bring on, if it wasn't for the AG the first time with this 50+1 mess, then we would have been in a real hole. I mean, you're talking about giving up $200 million in assets for a $70 million loan. Make that make sense. It didn't make sense. And that's why we were asking Dr. Burgess, why did you even sign this? You have the power. He has the power to say no. And not only that, he signed the actual Gothic Ventures loan. Who would sign a predatory loan at 24% interest rate with a 2% prepayment penalty? And your name is the only signature on there? Nobody from the board of trustees? And you're just an interim president? No, I would have never done that. My son is 15 years old. He would have never done that, period. So I'm just, I mean, as alumni and as someone that the alumni has chosen to represent them, I go to bed every night with a heavy heart. I do. And it gets to the point sometimes where my wife even tells me I have to take a step back from certain things because I'm an emotional guy and I'm passionate about this institution because I was an at-risk child. And St. Augustine's gave me the opportunity to get an education. George Puck Williams gave me the opportunity to earn my track scholarship, which I did. And he normally does not recruit from, this area, but he did for me. So, I'm indebted to this university for life. I affectionately call St. Augustine's my mom because I owe her everything. She birthed me to where I am now. So I'm going to keep fighting, and alumni are going to keep fighting until we remove this board. And really and truly, I just tell everybody, if you want to donate and you want to help us, please send your funds to oakwoodfalconfoundation.com. And if you want to come down and pick up a garbage bag or you feel empowered to do anything for our campus, please reach out to us because we need all your help. Even if it's just picking up a phone and calling the AG's office, calling the state representatives, calling the local representatives and asking them, what is your stance on what's occurring over there at St. Augustine's? Because this is not right. And for a 157-year-old institution, we should not be in this position to what is occurring right now. And what is occurring right now is right up under our eyes, the theft of a university. Just call it for what it is and take the Band-Aid off. That's what's happening. And if nobody has the compassion or the heart for that, then that's on them. But you have 10,000 alumni that are not going to go silently. We are fighting. We just need those that are in the realm of have the power to change this, to come and help us change this. And the worst part about it, and this is what we've already told to Dr. Burgess several times, we have almost $100 million in pledges from various investors, various donors, community partners that are willing to invest, but they all say the same thing. That board must go.
Yep.
So the question that should be asked of any authority, especially to the AG's office, is why haven't they left? What are you hiding? Because eventually what's done in the dark will come to the light. And we have 52 infractions in our case file. So just imagine once this is all opened up, what else we'll see. Because at this point, this is terrible. This is the theft of a university, and we're asking those in the right frame of mind that have the power to help us change this to come and change it.
We're literally seeing with our own eyes the destruction of a historic HBCU. We appreciate you joining us, Steve. Thank you so very much. And maybe time for us to put some pressure on the Attorney General and say, damn it, it's time for you to move.
Hey, anything you do, well, I appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Got to go to a break. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Get wealthy with me, Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach. Black women are starting businesses at the fastest rate than any other segment. However, finding the funding to build them is challenging. On our next Get Wealthy, we're going to talk with author Catherine Finney, who wrote the book, Build the Damn Thing. And she's going to be sharing exactly what we need to do to achieve success in spite of the odds.
As an entrepreneur of color, it's first, building your
personal advisory board. I think that's one of the things that's helped me the most. The personal advisory board are the people who are in the business of you personally, and want to see you succeed.
That's right here on Get Wealthy, only on Black Star Network.
This week on the other side of change.
We're digging into the immigration crisis that's happening here right now.
That can impact each and every one of us. We're going to break down the topic of this constitutional crisis that is being led by the Trump administration and what you as ordinary citizens can do to speak up and speak out to fight back. This is The Other Side of Change, only on the Black Star Network.
Hey, it's John Murray, the executive producer of the new Sherry Shepherd Talk Show. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks. These red state people are pretty interesting because they love complaining about these blue states and really to succeed. And we're so sick of them. They've been so awful and badly run. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett really late into the day, and her comments really followed those of California Governor Gavin Newsom, where he talked about how much money the blue states actually provides to the rest of the country. I'm going to play what he had to say first, and then we're going to play what she had to say. But it really is interesting because, again, these red state people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, we should succeed. I don't know about that because y'all broke as hell. Y'all going to need that blue state money. Here is Governor Gavin Newsom talking to this right-wing podcast, and he kind of actually broke the truth down to him. Listen to this.
What separates our game from the game played elsewhere is innovation, entrepreneurialism, more patents, more engineers, more researchers, more Nobel laureates in my state than any other damn state, more Fortune 500 companies in my state than any other state. Look that up, because I know people are rolling their eyes and saying, no, it's Texas. You're wrong.
It's true. I looked it up.
And we're, by the way, a donor state. We provided $83.1 billion more than we received from the federal government. Texas took $71.1 billion. I'm not saying that to bash Texas. But you know what? Pretty proud of my goddamn state.
I saw that
above
too.
Our weight, man. But AI.
Can you repeat those numbers?
$83.1 billion. We provided more to the federal government than we received. In the same year that Texas received $71.1 billion more than they provided to the federal government.
So you're net positive.
Net positive. 9 out of 10 of the donor states are Trump states, and I don't mean that pejoratively, Trump. 7 of the 10 are Republican states, but 9 out of the 10 dependent states, welfare states, are Trump states. The donor states disproportionately the blue states. 71% of the country's GDP comes from blue counties. Mm-hmm. These same crack-up counties with all these crazy liberals that can't get out of their own goddamn way, and the world's come to an end. It's 71% of the economy of the goddamn country, man. What separates our game from the game played elsewhere is
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett on Capitol Hill today.
So much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you so much to our witnesses for being here. Unfortunately, we are witnessing today yet another political stunt, plain and simple. Republicans are here drawing a clear line in the sand. They will stop at nothing to advance Donald Trump's agenda and the dangerous blueprint laid out in Project 2025, even if it means targeting the very groups that are working to protect our communities and support our law enforcement agencies. Let's be clear, my colleagues across the aisle have shown little to no interest in working with Democrats on real solutions for the American people. Instead of addressing pressing civil rights issues constituents actually care about, like wrongful deportations of U.S. citizens, ongoing efforts to undermine voting rights, or the serious flaws in our criminal justice system, this committee is spending its time holding a hearing with a title that sounds like it was ripped from a conspiracy blog. This hearing, how leftist nonprofit networks exploit federal tax dollars to advance a radical agenda. Really? I mean, when I listened to you, Mr. Chairman, who I do respect, I heard you say things about why is it that we're giving money in other places? And I want to make sure that I answer that question, because to put America first looks like we are going to keep American citizens safe. There is a such thing as soft power, and that is exactly what we were trying to do when we engaged in things such as USAID. When you start to talk about whether or not Sesame Street or anything else that's on NPR or PBS ends up in other places, this is so that there is not this warped thought process about the Western world or about the United States. We're talking about making sure that we don't end up allowing people to be radicalized against us because they have a terrible vision of us, because they may be in a government that actually puts out bad, terrible propaganda about us. So for pennies on the dollar, we are able to educate those around the world on who we really are in America and keep Americans safe. Soft power is real power, and it minimizes how much money we have to spend, say, on dropping bombs in countries at a random time without, say, congressional authority. But I digress. This kind of rhetoric, whether directed at nonprofits, their leaders, or elected officials, is not only reckless, it is beneath the dignity of this institution. And sadly, this isn't the first time this has happened. Over the past 6 months, we've seen hearing after hearing do nothing but attack nonprofits, as well as those who are just generally on a mission to serve, protect, and uplift vulnerable communities. In just my own committees, this has got to be the second or third time I've had to sit through the same tired narrative. If my Republican colleagues are truly concerned about taxpayer dollars being misused for political agendas, I'd encourage them to take a long, hard look in the mirror. But since we're here again, spending more of the American people's money and time on political theater, let's at least stick to the facts. Fact. Under the Trump administration, the Department of Justice stripped hundreds of millions of dollars from the Office of Justice programs, money that funded essential community safety initiatives like victim services, gang prevention, and reentry support. Fact. Trump and Republicans slashed grants to organizations like the National Organization for Victim Assistance, which trains advocates who staff domestic violence shelters, hotlines, and rape crisis centers. Fact. They cut over $10 million in funding to the National Policing Institute, a nonprofit helping rural police departments reduce violent crime. Fact, this week, Republicans are trying to gut PEPFAR, a life-saving program that partners with nonprofits around the world and has saved more than 26 million lives. And let's not forget, many of these cuts were laid out in Project 2025, a radical far-right playbook drafted by hyper-conservative nonprofits for the express purpose of dismantling the very government institutions and systems that serve the public good. Ironically, we even have one of the authors of Project 2025 here with us today. So let's not pretend this is about nonprofit accountability, because if it were, this committee would also be investigating the Conservative Partnership Institute, which has pushed anti-immigrant, anti-LGBTQ+, and anti-vaccine propaganda and hosted efforts to challenge the 2020 election. Mind you, as we have these organizations that are pushing anti-vaccine propaganda, we know that measles has reached a 30-year high when measles had actually been over and done with. But now that we don't believe in vaccines, now children are our targets, unfortunately, and yes, they are dying. The New Century Foundation, a white nationalist organization that somehow maintains its 501c3 status to launder hate speech through the language of intellectual inquiry. Or they would investigate Turning Point USA, which has been linked to organizers of the January 6th insurrection. But Republicans aren't talking about those groups because this isn't about accountability. It's about silencing organizations that challenge Republican power. It's about targeting nonprofits that protect the very people this Trump-aligned movement continues to harm. These organizations are defending victims of unlawful actions. They're helping to combat global pandemics. They're supporting police departments when this very committee won't. They're working to build safer, healthier communities while Trump and his allies defund them to hand out tax breaks to billionaires. And maybe that's the real threat here. They're effective. They get people off the streets, out of prison, and into opportunity. They educate people about injustice, and that apparently scares some folks more than any so-called radical agenda. because the only thing truly radical about these nonprofits is their belief that human beings deserve dignity, opportunity, and equal protection under the law, values my Republican colleagues seem to have forgotten, along with love thy neighbor. So instead of demonizing the groups trying to do right by our communities, maybe we should be asking how to support them, how to ensure taxpayer dollars reach the people who need them most, because this hearing should be about public safety, not political vendettas. Until that happens, these hearings are doing more harm than good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
These broke-ass red states want to do that. Michael, take your best shot.
Yep, and California was just named in April 2025 the fourth largest economy in the world at $4.1 trillion. So, yeah, these are a lot of broke-ass red states. The broke-ass red states should secede from the union. And Jasmine Crockett is absolutely correct in hitting these people. And remember, in February 2025, Donald Trump ended the database tracking federal police misconduct also that he proposed in 2020 after George Floyd was killed.
Bottom line is, what's that song from Ideal? Get the hell on, get gone, Randy?
Hit the road, Jack? I don't know which one, but I know they some scrubs. We don't want no scrubs. I mean, how are you going to be talking so much trash and you're the broken states? The Republicans are the ones who are always talking about cutting social services and getting rid of welfare, whereas they are the states who receive welfare from the Democratic states. It's just incredibly ironic and they're hypocrites.
Mustafa?
You know, as Representative Crockett said, facts, blue states are the economic engine. Facts, blue states subsidize red states. Facts, red states have the higher poverty rates, and they also are more reliant on SNAP and Medicaid and disability benefits. And of course, they're hit by the climate crisis, so they need federal funds to be able to rebuild when they should have actually put policies in place in the beginning. So it's very clear, you know, who's the driver of our economy and who is the benefactor of those resources that blue states continue to share because they care about everybody.
Indeed, indeed. All right, y'all, time for shopblackstarnetwork.com. Let's get right to it. Of course, our marketplace. Are you tired of sweat getting in your eyes? Sisters, you know, ruining your hair. You know how y'all like, man, I ain't letting nothing mess up my hair. Well, Nicole Ari Parker, she's been selling these headbands that help you stay cooler, and sisters all around the country have been saying, yo, this is hot. Of course, the GymWrap, built with EvapoCool technology. The sweatbands and headgear brand make sure you stay cool, dry, and focused during your workouts. Co-founded by Nicole Ari Parker and her husband, Boris Kojo. Nicole, what's happening?
Hey!
Boris, what up?
What's up, bro?
So
how you doing, brother?
You.
Good to see both of y'all. Boris, was Nicole largely responsible for this? Because I don't know how you gonna do some hair wraps. You ain't got no hair.
Listen, you know what happens when you're married. You're gonna support no matter what, right? So, but let me tell you, she first she created the first prototype by cutting up my shirt and sewing it together. So that's how it all started. I pulled out my shirt from the drawer and there was a big old triangle hole in it. And that's how it all started. But I'm super proud of her because she created this herself. She has patents. She has so many different products now. She really solved a problem because at the time we met with the Surgeon General, Dr. Regina Benjamin, and she told us that especially black women were making a detrimental choice between their hair and their health. So Nicole actually figured out a solution on how to be able to work out and still keep your edges under control, which, you know, is very important for our sisters.
All right, Nicole, so did you really cut up one of his shirts? And if so, was it one of the, you know, was it one of the, you know, like I have a lot of the moisture shirts. Is that what it was?
Exactly.
Right.
they were trying to clarify if I was the founder or I was the creator, Roland. I was trying to solve my
okay, I need you to take me through this. Were you sitting here going, oh man, this fabric feels kind of good. This might, if this absorbs his sweat on the tennis court, this could absorb my head. Is that what happened?
That's exactly what happened. I cut up a couple of his shirts and I sewed many prototypes because I know we all have different needs. He's right, I made my triangle. I made a wide band and a thin band, and I made everything that I would like on any given day, because I had 2 small children. My husband was trying to go for a run with me on the beach, and I had just found enough time to get my hair blown out, and I had to choose between him, the kids, or my hair, and I was like, there's got to be a way I can do it all. And I just made it. And for all the new entrepreneurs out there who have an idea, I would just tell them to start, because I did not have a business degree. I did not have any marketing connections. I just made it, and I hit the ground running trying to find a manufacturer and all of the things. And here we are, 12 years later, on your show.
Bars, did you make her buy you some replacement shirts? Because, listen, I tell my wife, stay the hell out of my closet.
I sold so many, Roland, so he's got plenty of shirts. I bought him that one.
Yeah, she did. I gotta be honest, she did. She worked it out for me. But look, this has really grown into a company that has become a staple in our community. I'm so thankful for all the support that we have gotten over the years, and she has really expanded her product line from the first GymWrap to not just the triangle, but also bandies, the thin ones, the narrow ones, the wide ones. Now hats as well, which I use every single day when I'm on a tennis court. They wick away the moisture as well, the sweat, so the sweat doesn't go into your face. And really, she's allowed us to not have to choose between our hair and our health. We're able to go and work out and take off the GymWrap, blow dry the edges a little bit, and go to work. So it's really done a great deal of service to our community. I'm super proud of her.
So, Nicole, you just said something I thought was important. You saw a problem. You were like, man, this board shirt feel kind of nice. Ooh, let me go ahead and do this here. And so after you cut up the first 2 shirts, okay, what was next for you? Just walk people. Because, see, one of the greatest problems that I always tell entrepreneurs is, don't talk about where you are today. Walk people through how you had to get there, because that's where people get stuck. So after you cut the shirts up, then you went and worked out. What was the next thought for you? Like, okay, where do I go now?
I love that question, because it was really challenging. Just going right to the source, right to manufacturers, and trying to describe to them the level of specific material that I was looking for. And, who has no relationship to hair or sweating or anything. And, I had to pitch myself just to get the first step. And then when it was time to create a website, and I have great business partners, so they handled what they knew how to handle. And it was just, I had to fight for it. I mean, I really had to dig deep and not give up. And I had wonderful outlets by being an actor like you. When all that was done, I was able to go on a few talk shows and get it in a little bit. But when it was time to expand and get into a store, I had to wheel my little suitcase up and pitch my product like everybody else who had a face cream or a bathrobe, just like everyone else. They didn't care that I was on a TV show. And
I think that's as what you're describing again. Why it's so important. because that's what a lot of people don't understand. People, it amazes me when people say, oh, man, I would have been an entrepreneur. And I go, do you know what that means? Do you know what it means to, yeah, I'm like, I was at a book signing a couple of weeks ago in Detroit, and my assistant didn't ship the books ahead of time. No, and then if we did ship them late, it was going to cost like $400. I was like, well, damn, that's, $20 time each book. That's eating in the profit. And so, oh, hell yeah, I put 100 damn books in a suitcase and wheel that sumbitch into that sucker and pull it out myself inside. I mean, again, that's what you have to do, no matter whether you are an actor, whether you're in media. If you're trying to actually do a business, you're going to have to do stuff like that, and your ego has to get set aside.
But you do have to have a little bit of self-confidence, though. It's like being humble and bold at the same time. Like, you believe in what you have, and yet you are in the waiting room with everybody else. And it was quite a journey. But it had touched a nerve. I was so blessed that Dr. Benjamin had made those announcements that 90% of the things that we were suffering from as a community were preventable. And maybe my number's off. I think she said 80% was preventable. Strokes, high blood pressure. And most of those things were preventable with watching our food and at least getting some movement in every day. And so I was selling like crazy. And then I had a little bit of money. This is the other thing. I bought some late night media time on the Tennis Channel. So that wasn't really my market, but I knew my product was great for outdoor athletes. It sold out. Tennis players, volleyball players, they loved it. Boys were wearing it under their football helmets. It was like a whole new world opened up, but I took that risk. I had just a little bit to do that, and I took the risk. So
did that idea? Did the idea, Bars, for that tennis time come from you? Because you have quite the history on the tennis courts.
Well, I don't want to take the credit, Roland. You know how that goes when you're married. But yes, that might have been a conversation that we had before she did that. But look, some of the things that she said is very important. Number one, people just have to try, and they shouldn't be afraid to ask questions, right? Ask 1,000 questions if you want to and if you have to. Also, don't be afraid to make mistakes. You're going to make some mistakes. I think resiliency is very important. A lot of people give up right before they're about to hit that plateau or that next level. And also, like Nicole said, all the money that she made went right back into the business. Because in order to expand, in order to scale, you're going to have to spend the money that you're making to grow the business. It's not that easy, but it is worth it. And I have to really, again, say that she was doing this in the name of service. And I think that is also an aspect that has really helped her grow, because she was providing a real solution to people. And I think it was sort of, the product and the business was anointed. It was really divine intervention that helped her grow this business, because she was doing it in the name of service.
Well, it certainly serves a need. I mean, I'm looking in our group chat, and there are people sitting there talking about it right now in terms of places they've been. It's hot. And it's not, and again, I mean, at the end of the day, different parts of the country and the world, even if you're just visiting places and it's hot and you're sweating, that's the one thing sisters will say, man, 'cause look, I'm from Houston. So, right. I know what it means when a sister's like, yo, that humidity, as soon as you hit the door, all that money you spent, on getting your hair done. That's why a lot of sisters I know, when the heat comes, they go up, braids time. We ain't dealing with all of that. But of course, this product, go ahead.
I was just saying, that's why I make cute styles too, just for running your errands.
See, there you go. Because you're going to be out in the heat. You're going to be out in the heat. So, folks, the product is GymWrap. Again, if you go to shopblackstarnetwork.com, since we launched this show September 4th, 2018, we've always had our marketplace segment because we wanted to give an opportunity for black-owned businesses, people who have products, to be able to share with our audience, talk to them. Guys, drop that graphic. I need y'all on your end to pull the website up so they can actually see the GymWraps on the website. So again, if y'all go to shopblackstarnetwork.com, we want y'all to let folks know, pass the word. Again, because there are a number of products that we have on the site. We featured other people as well, and I'm just go ahead and cut to it myself. So if you go to the website, you'll see right here, you'll see the different products right here: the hat 2.0, GymWrap 2.0, the pony 2.0, full triangle. What's this? Bandy 2.0 set. Shadow black white bandy 2.0 as well, and then of course the visor as well. So those products are on the website as we speak. It's for men and women, and so yeah, I might have to try one of these, Nicole, because I play golf. And listen, when I walk in the heat, you're sweating.
You should definitely try the hats. The hats, I've worn them, every single day. It's the best hat you'll ever try.
It's soft and it has.
Which one? The hat 2.0?
The hat, yeah, the hat. Not the pony. The pony has a little hole in the back for the ponytails. I'm not sure if you're hair.
Yeah, no, I don't have that issue. Ain't no ponytail here. That ain't gonna happen. So it'll be the hat. Because and again, I mean, because I have it's like one of my alpha hats. And man, the way that thing's made, like when I'm sweating, when I'm over a putt, it look like a waterfall just coming straight down. Yeah, I'll have to try the hat. All right, the hat 2.0. And listen, I test drive everything, so I'll let folk know. And so y'all go to shopblackstarnetwork.com. Check out this. Quickly from our panel, questions. You got any? Randy, you first.
I've had a GymWrap for 10 years, easily. It works. No, it works. My hair is usually short, and you really did. I mean, you solved a major problem. Black women would not work out because of our hair. We would completely, we get our hair done on Friday. So it's like, I can't work out Saturday, Sunday, Monday because I want to be cute. Maybe you do Tuesday, Wednesday because you're going to get your hair done again. Like our health was very much determined by our hair. And so my best friend called me and said, have you tried so-and-so? And I did, and it truly works. Roland, you don't even have to test drive. I can honestly tell you that it works for real. And so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And I made them, Roland.
Mustafa, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because I know that some of us have short styles and some of us have braids, but we lay our baby hair down and all the things. So that's why I have a bandy for people who like a one band, but I also made ties so people can tie them as tight or loose as they want and be more flexible. So I thought of all of the things that I go through myself and included them in the line.
Well, Mustafa, he's got braids, he always rocking the LL Cool J Kangos. He may have to try one of your hats. Mustafa, go ahead.
Yeah, well, thanks for that. No, I don't have braids. I have locks. But, so, Nicole.
Braids, locks.
There's a difference. Anyway.
Braids, locks. You got long hair.
I got long hair, yeah.
You can take one of my...
Thank you for loving black folks. Thank you for loving black folks. My question was, again, I have a lot of hair. So I was just curious, like for the hats, do they come in one size or are there other sizes or do they stretch?
They're adjustable. It depends, if you've got a lot of locks and a lot of bulk, I would still put your hair, pull it in your own comfortable ponytail holder, and then use this just for the sweat in the front. So it stops dripping down if you're really working out.
Thank you.
Oh, I see guys in the gym.
All right, Michael, Michael, he ain't got no locks, so he ain't got that problem. Michael, go ahead.
No, I don't have any locks, but I do wear LL Cool J Kango though. Nicole and Boris, this is fantastic. My question is dealing with your distribution. In addition to the Tennis Channel, taking out ads on the Tennis Channel, are you in brick and mortar stores? Do you go to expos and sell? What's your distribution like? And also, loved you all in Soul Food. You are one of my favorite TV couples and real life couples also.
Thank you.
Great question. So we've gone through various distribution outlets, from brick and mortars in all the big box stores. What we have found is that we are doing really, really well direct to consumer. So online, obviously our margins are much better. And we have a revolutionary conversion rate of 2.5 times the norm, which is, again, due to the loyalty and the support that we've been enjoying from our community. So thank you again so much for that. So it just depends. Every once in a while, we hit our stride in the brick and mortars, and then we go online again. So right now, it's about 70-30 online, because for those of you who don't know, when you're dealing with big retailers, there's a lot that goes with it. You know, we're talking about inventory, we're talking about warehousing. That's additional costs that you have to incur. And then also you have to support your stuff on the shelves by way of marketing and advertising spend. So those big box retailers ask you to shell out additional money to promote the product in the stores. They don't promote the stuff. You have to promote the stuff.
Right.
So sometimes when you, like my wife, when you have a great following and enjoy great loyalty in amongst our consumers, it's better to go the online only route because the margins are better. And you also can get to expand your product line really quickly from one day to the next. Whereas when you're in a big box store, you always have to wait 6 months till the next cycle until you can introduce a new product. So they're not as flexible as you want to be. So sometimes e-commerce works much better.
Right. All right. Thank you.
Gotcha. And I'm sitting here, and you know, some people, they can't just stop being what they used to be. So Candy Carter, of course, whose company set all this up, is texting me. Ask about new season of Sex and the City reboot and Just Like That. She used to be a producer with Oprah's show, so she can't stop producing. So I guess she figured she want to produce me. But go on right ahead. Tell me about the season 2 of the Sex and the City reboot.
We're in season 3 right now. I think we're on episode 7 aired last week, and 8 out of 12. So she's got about 4 or 5 more weeks.
Okay, and Just Like That. What is that?
And Just Like That. Yes, it's the reboot of Sex and the City. It's called And Just Like That. It's the,
that's what it's called. Got it.
Yes. So I'm having a ball.
All right, Bars, what you got? Go ahead. Go ahead. You shot what?
I was just saying that I shot this season through October, and now it's on the air, and it's very exciting. The fans are from 20 years ago.
Okay, and Bars, Candy's texting me saying, ask Bars what does he have coming up that people can watch and support.
Well, we just finished season 8 of Station 19, and it's a series wrap. So we finished the show. I spent 8 years on that show. It was a great run. We're in 120 different countries worldwide. So now I'm actually doing a bunch of things in Africa. We're creating content in and for Africa, and continuing Full Circle, which you were invited to many times. At some point you gotta come with us, Roland. We did Ghana, and now we're expanding in different regions on the continent for people to reconnect with their ancestry and to counteract old stereotypical narratives about the continent and show people what Africa is really about.
He also is.
When I get invited. When I get invited, let me check. I'm looking for the email.
You better check.
All right, first of all, where you going next?
I'm gonna look up the emails.
You better check.
He's on.
Yeah, look up the email. I believe in behind the scenes, what?
Directing and producing. He's got a lot of stuff in the oven, so he'll circle back with you.
All right, so here's the deal. Yeah, let me know. Maybe I went to the spam folder because I was in Ghana in 2019. I was in Liberia in 2022. I was in Ethiopia last year. So yeah, let me know where y'all going next. You know, because I got people hitting me in Nigeria, and somebody invited me to Tanzania today. So, you know, let a brother know. But, yeah, remember the email is roland@rolandsmartin.com. Somebody may have dropped that S.
Okay, I'll check, but I think I got the right one.
All right, then. Folks, GymWrap. Go to shopblackstarnetwork.com. Y'all can get it. Men and women, absolutely. Let's support Nicole and Boris. Support our black-owned products. And when you buy on shopblackstarnetwork.com, you're also supporting this network because we also get a cut as well. And so this is all about supporting the black-owned business ecosystem, and that's why it is so important. So, Nicole, Boris, always great to see y'all. I'm sure we'll run into each other in an airport again soon.
That's right, as usual. Thanks, Ro. Appreciate you.
As usual.
I'll make sure you get some caps.
All right. Well, I walk 18 holes, so I'll definitely be wearing it on the golf course. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, folks, that is it for us today. I know we went over the time, but it's always good to go over time. Let me thank Mustafa. Let me thank Randy. Let me thank Michael being our panel today. Thank you so very much. Folks, don't forget, support the work that we do. Again, ain't nobody else doing what we do. I'm telling you right now, there's nobody in black-owned media. You don't have a show like this on any targeted black-owned cable network, no other digital property. We're the only ones doing this because we think it's important to center African Americans, to tell our story, to share our story, and to cover these issues. You don't see MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, ABC, NBC, CBS covering the case of that young man shot and killed in Homewood, Alabama. Oh, if it blows up into something, they'll cover it. But we've been covering it since it first happened. That's the kind of stuff that matters. Uterine fibroids. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow on the show. We're going to be dealing with the whole issue of the Trump folks removing medical debt as a way for you to, when you're filing bankruptcy. We're going to discuss that on the show as well. I didn't get to calling out Bill Maher for his ridiculous comments about Trump being a racist, but he's a man of the times. But also, Rich Dennis, of course, the chair of the company that owns Essence, went on the Breakfast Club. And I got a few thoughts about all of the talk around Essence Fest. Yeah, I got a lot I want to say about that. So that's why y'all must tune into the show and support what we do. Again, our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing on average $50 each a year. That will raise $1 million. That offsets our expenses. Right now, I'm literally, just so y'all understand, right now I am literally at home. I'm not anywhere else. I'm at home. If y'all think I'm lying, do understand right here. Boom. Oh, that's it right there. Where can I take it off? Where can I take it off? All right, is that it right there? There you go. Yeah, I'm at the crib. That's right. That's the green screen going on right here. Because right now we have a $70,000 lighting installation happening in my studio. We have a $40,000. We're finishing a $40,000 IT installation in our facility to upgrade our IT. So, folks, that's $110,000. That's real money. And so it's all a matter of being able to increase our capacity to change what we're doing. And so that's what's going on as we speak. So I'm actually from the home studio. And so if y'all saw this, the lights, I got the switcher right here, my iPad. And so all those things are happening because we want to upgrade the studio. We're looking at adding new shows, and this is really about increasing the product for all of you and making it better because we believe that black folks deserve to have high quality news and information, and not just my show, multiple shows. And so that's why your support is critically important. Y'all have been amazing since we launched. We purposely don't charge a subscription fee. I'm not trying to hit you up on Patreon, well, we're going to pay for this, pay for that. And so that's why we make it a donation base. So when you support the show, when you give via the various ways, you are supporting all of this. I told you, our cost is $195,000 a month. It funds staff and just for us the high speed. We don't have high speed internet. We got a fiber. Yo, that's $2,500 a month. We are not paying $89.99 a month. So that stuff is real, and so it all matters. And so if you want to support us, please via Cash App. Here's the QR code right here. Cash App got rid of our accounts. They changed their rules, and so you have to use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here. This is the Stripe QR code for Cash App. Checks and money orders, make them payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. You got to give it about 45 days because, folks, between you mailing it and just having open each envelope, then, of course, sign the back, the mobile deposit. Some checks and money orders don't go through out to actually send them to the bank, and so it's a process there. But make checks and money orders payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 2003 7-0196. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered, Venmo RM Unfiltered, Zelle Roland at RolandSMartin.com, Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Download the Black Star Network app, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. Of course, get my book, White Fear, How the Browning of America is Making White Folks Lose Their Minds. Available at bookstores nationwide. Get the audio version I read on Audible. As I said, get the various black products that we feature on shopblackstarnetwork.com. You've got Leafy, which is the black toilet paper company. You got, of course, GymWraps. You got coffee. You got other products that we featured. It's all there as well. ShopBlackStarNetwork.com. If you want to get your Roland Martin Unfiltered merchandise, all right, so come back to me. If y'all want to get this shirt right here, and we've also changed vendors. We were using one company. If y'all want to get this shirt, don't blame me. I voted for the black woman. Absolutely, you can get it. Pull the graphic up. So again, go to shopblackstarnetwork.com. You can get this T-shirt. You get the other T-shirts that we have. Pull the graphic up. You can get the other T-shirts that we have. That's right. We tried to tell you, FAFO, Project 2025. Of course, MAGA chose between woke or broke. They chose broke. That was an Anthony Scaramucci quote. Of course, our regular show shirt. And if you get any of our shirts, yo, send me an email, post it on social, tag me, and I'll show it to you on the show as well. So to give y'all a shout out. And of course, don't forget Fanbase. Download the app Fanbase. If you want to invest, go to startengine.com/Fanbase for more information. Y'all, that's it. I'll see y'all tomorrow right here. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Time for Truth Talks.